Anyway, so then we moved in here.
Yeah.
We moved in here on the 10th of December.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been here 21 days now. Three weeks a day we moved in.
Wow.
And already, we're the happiest we've ever been.
Yeah.
We're as comfortable as we've ever been throughout our home life this year. I mean, it's been a battle, hasn't it? It's been a battle.
Yeah. Very hard.
It has been a battle.
I mean, you're stronger than me, aren't you, to deal with situations like that?
In ways.
Like, I found the last year, not like a little bit harder than you have. Primarily because I'm younger than you and I haven't dealt with this stuff before, I think.
Well, I didn't deal with those things before either.
Well, no, but...
I dealt with all other kinds of abuse from people who call themselves family, people who call themselves friends. I've been through a shitload of abuse and I built up a shell where I cannot give a fuck. As long as I'm alive and I know what I want in my future, no one else can break my spirit. So I've already broke my own spirit by doing what I did 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago. I'd already destroyed my own spirit. No one else had the ability to do that, take me to that point other than myself anymore after that. So yeah, 2013, with regards to home life,
It's been rocky.
has been a struggle. A very, very hard struggle. I mean, it's come between us. We've had arguments, we've fallen out, we've broken up temporarily, we've taken things out on each other, and we've really been mean to me, more so to you, purely because I shouldn't be like that, you know. Yeah, but here we are now.
Yeah. We're better. Well, we are better for it, aren't we?
Yeah, we're better for it, and not only are we better for it, but we have a better understanding of the type of people who will be there, and won't just try and prince us of the loyalty that we exhibit so freely. Yeah. I mean, friends who abuse friends
Aren't friends.
Aren't friends. They're shallow. They have no real purpose in life, and they don't want to admit it. So when they see people with purpose, they try to take that away.
I know I'm only 20 years old, but it is quite hard to find friends that are actually proper friends.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I've only got two, apart from you and Bassett, I've only got two proper friends, I think.
I've got a couple true friends, but because of what I do, I rarely see any of them.
Yeah.
But whenever I need them and I call upon them, they are
They
there
help you.
with the advice, and it's the same in reverse, isn't it? I mean, people can get in touch with me with their problems, and I will advise them through it. And in the same way, I can get in touch with them and they will advise me through it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have more professional contacts than I do real friends. So that's our home life. Do you want to discuss your work? I mean, we pretty much already have done half of that, but
Yeah.
do you want to tell them your story professionally? Or?
When I was 17, well,
No, babe, it's 2013. Forget the rest. You've got a YouTube channel for that.
Okay. Beginning of 2013, I was working at Sports Direct on a 0-hour contract, being paid £5 an hour, which is below minimum wage for. I was 19 at the time, but way below minimum wage for a 19-year-old. And I'd had enough. Like I needed a new job, didn't I? Like beyond belief. And in the store of Banbury of Sports Direct, they've got a little lobby bit, and I was being stuck on the door 5.5 hours every day.
Just left there.
Yeah. When the new manager arrived, he said, "Oh, I'm going to change you every hour on the hour," which he did, until I turned up for my shift, and he'd stick me down there and just expect me to stay down there and just be happy with it.
Yeah, but to be fair to him on that point, the girl who he was fucking didn't like you because she's a stuck-up twat.
Yeah. But that's
not me saying that's fair. That's me being ironic and calling him a dickhead.
That's besides the point.
Sorry, babe.
And there's cleaners in the centre, obviously, because I am now one of them. And one of them that I'd been chatting to for the 2 years that I'd been there, whenever I was on the door, mentioned that they had a space available for a cleaner. So I jumped at the opportunity to apply for it. He said, if you apply for it, you're pretty much guaranteed to get the job anyway, because we all know you. We all know that you are a very hard worker. So I went for the interview, and a matter of days later, I found out that I'd got the job. I wrote my letter of resignation. That was the one upside to Sports Direct.
Yeah.
I didn't have to give them any notice at all. I just had to go in with a letter of resignation, just write on it that I wanted to leave, effective immediately, and I left. And then started my new job 2 or 3 days later, and it's not the best job in the world, but it's the best thing I've done this year. Changing jobs.
Yeah. So I've hardly slept.
I know you are. It's alright.
So when did you start this new job though?
The 18th of June,
In what?
2013.
How many hours do you work, so on this?
I'm on a contract for 120 hours per month, and even if I don't do 120 hours, I get paid for 120 hours purely because it is in my contract to do so.
Yeah.
I am the relief cleaner, which means that if anyone doesn't turn up for a shift or they need to swap a shift, they will come to me first to swap it, or the management will phone me up first to offer me a shift. But the only downside to my contract, if I haven't done my 120 hours and I turn down a shift, I won't get paid for my 120 hours.
No, you'll get paid for the hours that you do.
Yeah.
And if you do more than 120 hours in that week, in that month anyway, then obviously you get paid. You have an hourly wage. So if you work more than 120 hours, you get paid based on the amount of hours you've worked. But if you work less than 120 hours, you get paid for 120
I
hours.
pay my salary.
But if you're scheduled for less than 120 hours and you turn down a shift they offer you, you won't get paid your salary. You'll get paid for the amount of work you've done.
Yeah.
Which is a nice system, I think. I wouldn't complain at that.
No. There are bits of the job that I don't like. I would just like to say to the people that live in Banbury that watch my YouTube channel, I don't know how many of them there are, ladies, fucking flush the toilet. I'm sick and tired of going into those cubicles and having to flush the toilet after people. If they don't flush the toilet in a public toilet, what the hell do they do at home?
A lot of people in this town are unfortunately on drugs and must enjoy the smell of excrement. Are you done?
Yeah.
No, okay. So now I've got to fucking talk about my work in 2013.
Oh, fucking hell, here we go.
Okay.
I'll see you in an hour.
No, I need to include December, I think. Because it's relevant to January.
Yeah.
But in December I was working at a privately owned mansion as a gardener, and 2 sculptors were commissioned by the owner of the house to make some statues. Creative people can sense creativity in other creative people. So these sculptors, obviously I was talking with them and they came to know a bit about my character, and they invited me to work on this commissioned piece with them. So I did that while still working at A&O Park. And then I was given the opportunity to work with a Magic Core Theatre, a theatre company based in Oxford, who were really just kind of starting out, but had government
Funding.
help.
Yeah.
And people offering them programs to help them develop. So obviously, as a creative person who wants to help students, because my job title, I was a producer, script writer, project manager, and student mentor. If the company had continued properly, then I would have actually been able to teach people how to write scripts and help them get their foot in the industry. So I was very looking forward to that. So I stopped working at A&O Park so I could concentrate on helping people, really, and beginning my career in one of the dream industries. These people, the actors, very talented, level-headed, and aspirational, and they all loved my work, and they liked me as a character, and they wanted to not only work with me on the feature I'd just written. It's a comedy, so I write comedy brilliantly, Sorry.
You do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So these people wanted to work with me. Me as project manager, it's my responsibility to make sure I have the team behind my projects who I can trust and rely on. So me and the company director decided that we had to hold interviews for stage manager, and there was an existing non-official stage manager who had helped poorly, as is the opinion of the actors who were on set at the time, or behind stage, whatever, on stage. He wasn't very good at what he did, and he's an egomaniac, megalomaniac, or something I think it's called, egotistical, only child, warped sense of perception, and I knew from the offset when it comes to professionals or amateurs, whatever, I won't trust the word of the person speaking.
No.
I will trust the word of everyone else around them. And all these words were negative. So it came to the point where we had to really decide who was going to work on this project, which was seen as the best thing that had hit that company since this started, really. So we held interviews, and someone else seemed like they'd be more relevant. Yeah. So we gave them the job.
Sorry.
So yeah, we started working. I got the actors involved. Every single person who I wanted to be involved because they maybe they believed in the script how I believed in it, or maybe they just wanted something on their CV, or maybe both. I think in many cases it was both. But then the megalomaniac, who was angered and frustrated, and his ego was tarnished because he was no longer stage manager, started to post derogatory comments on the networking sites which I was using to promote not only myself as a director, writer, producer, but the company as a whole. And he would write derogatory comments on those listings. It's like, I'm not having that, not only because it's damaging my reputation, but it's damaging the reputation of this company as a whole.
That he worked for? Well, with?
Yeah, he was no longer getting paid at that point. He wasn't deserving of the job. He wasn't good enough. He didn't even want from his future what this job would have given him. So why was he even there in the first place? I don't know.
He was lucky to still be a part of the theatre company at all. Really.
Yeah, I said to him, I was like, you cannot be stage manager because you're not as relevant as this other person who we've interviewed and found more relevant. But you can work on the art department, and you can be involved in helping this production take place and networking and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's cool. But then he started putting derogatory comments on Facebook, slagging off the rest of the staff members in the company, and I weren't going to have that. So I made it obvious that I weren't going to have it, and the company director was on my side.
Yeah.
But because he always goes to the office, and she's always at the office, and he talks, and she's really soft. She's not intelligent, and she's off her head anyway. She's. This isn't her fault. It's not a funny thing. I'm not using it to abuse her, but she's suffered mental breakdowns before, and she cannot deal with stress. And he was purposely stressing her out, and basically the whole company crumbled.
Yeah.
She didn't just fire me. She quit the entire company. She gave up.
She shut the company down.
Yeah, and then decided to resurrect it without me.